Hey y'all, welcome back. It's Astronaut. I am excited to have you here today for some tabletop gameplay. We are going to be looking at Iron Hands with Chien Pao Baxcalibur versus Gardevoir EX with the new Iron Valiant EX. It's some pretty fun games, and before we get into the games, I just want to give you a quick preview of the list. Here's our new featured card, Iron Hands, with the Amp You Very Much attack, 120 damage for 1 lightning and 3 colorless, and if your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out, you take an extra prize card. So this will come into play during the game, but that 120 damage is relevant because it knocks out most single prizers, and between Chien Pao being able to knock out the multi-prizers, Iron Hands taking care of the smaller stuff, and you of course always still have Radiant Greninja. This is a really powerful deck. So here is the list I'm playing with right now. We have 3 Chien Pao, 302 Baxcalibur line. I know that some lists are playing 3 Baxcalibur. I haven't needed it so far, but you can go up to 3. 2 Bibarel, 2 Bidoof, and this is the Pokestop list with a whole lot of items. The main difference right now is that instead of cross switchers, I'm just playing 1 boss and 1 pal pad, and then adding in the 2 lightning energy for Iron Hands. But you could definitely go back to cross switchers, maybe increase the Iono count up to 2 if you need it. The last new card I'll highlight is Earthen Vessel here, which is probably the best card from the new Paradox Rift set, which is kind of funny in a set full of such powerful Pokemon. This is the best one, but you discard a card and search your deck for up to 2 basic energy. It's the only way that we can draw, or that we can search out, rather, the lightning energy, and it's Irida searchable. So at the very least, this should be a 1-of in every Chien Pao list. But pretty straightforward. That's this list. Let's check out Gardy. And for this Gardevoir list, I wanted it to be as vanilla as possible as a base. And then we're adding in the Iron Valiant package and trying to do some interesting things with the new tools that are coming out. So everyone's familiar with Gardevoir at this point. The Pokemon lineup is just about the same, except I'm back to 4 refinements instead of Mirage Step. I think this will be the way to play it in the Paradox Rift format, because refinement is just more important. And our new attacker is Iron Valiant, has the Tachyon Bits ability. You can put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon every time you move it into the active spot, and does 200 damage for 3 energy. So the reason I'm including Iron Valiant in this list as a 2-of is it gives you a lot more aggressive options in the opening. Turn 2, if you hit the rare candy into Gardevoir EX, all you need is 3 energy discarded, and you're hitting for a lot of damage. 200, 220 with the ability, 240 with the tool that we're about to talk about. So this just allows you to, maybe for the first time ever as Gardevoir, to actually hit really hard on turn 2 and cause some problems, set the tempo versus some otherwise more aggressive opponents. But the only other weird thing that you're going to find in here is the 2 tools down here, and then I'm playing 2 copies of Town Store. So Town Store searches out a tool. I'm trying out 2 Town Store because I want to be able to search out the specific tool I need in the exact situation I need it in. And we're playing 2 very important tools. We could bump up the count of either of these. We could also add Forest Sealstone if you wanted to put a Lumineon or a Zacian V back into it, but the first one, you attach this to your Iron Valiant. It has no retreat cost, and your attacks do 20 more damage. So with your Iron Valiant, you're hitting 220 with the attack, plus the 2 damage from your ability puts you at 240, which allows you to KO Iron Hands EX. So this is actually one of the only ways with this tool that Gardevoir can consistently respond to a turn 2 Iron Hands EX. And I think as the format is developing, we'll see how it goes, but if you are not able to respond to the turn 2 Iron Hands, I think Gardevoir just folds as a deck. You just lose that game. Maybe you're pushed out of the meta. So this allows you to respond to Iron Hands, trade 2 for 2, and then now that you have an extra turn to discard cards, extra turn to set up your Kirlias and Gardevoirs, then it's a lot easier to hit the turn 3 Shining Arcana, or rather Brainwave KO. So the last card that we'll be talking about is this new tool, TM Evolution. And you can attach it to any Pokemon. It gains this attack, and the attack is basically it's Mirage Step. You evolve 2 of your benched Pokemon. So you'll see it in the games that I use it. You maybe use Celebration's Mew, Mysterious Tail, and then you attach the tool, you attach 1 energy to your Mew, and there you go. You basically Mirage Stepped, which is why we're back up at 4 refinements. So overall, this list, I've been liking it so far. There are definitely some cards that we can add, and I will talk about those at the end, but this is just the direction I'm going with Gardevoir right now, and we're going to see if it can respond to what looks to be a much more aggressive meta. Alright, so let's get into our gameplay. Starting here with Gardevoir on the right, and we just want to set up our board as much as possible, have the Battle VIP pass. Looks like nothing too essential is prized on either side. And we're just doing this at 1.5 speed so that we can keep the pace up and not have this video be like 45 minutes long. But yeah, this first turn, not too bad. We got triple Ralts, we got a Mew in the active, we have the TM Evolution in our hand, and a Level Ball for Kirlia, so I think it's just fair to pass right there. And then over on the left side, my friend Gabe playing here, and Chien Pao trying to set up their board. These are both setup decks, and they both have aggressive options now that we have the Iron Valiant, but the Iron Hands really is the big difference maker in this matchup. So we're starting with the VIP pass, the Shivery Chill, and then the Irida, probably gonna find ourselves 3 more Pokemon. Yeah, it looks like Greninja VIP is the choice, which sounds right. And now let's go get ourselves a backup attacker and a Bidoof. I think it is definitely reasonable for the backup attacker to be Iron Hands instead of second Chien Pao, but you can go either way on this. It's still a lot to be able to set up the turn 2 Iron Hands, whereas if you have this active Chien Pao that gets knocked out, it's going to be much easier to respond with the second Chien Pao rather than Iron Hands. But something I do want to note is that we are shuffling. I just cut out all the shuffling during edits, so that's why you won't see us shuffle very much, or like, you know, using this level ball, go find ourselves another Kirlia, potentially. Maybe, oh, maybe. Okay, we're going for the Manaphy, very exciting. So here it is, the TM Evolution play. We get our Manaphy in play, and we basically Mirage Step into all of our Kirlias. There's the shuffle off camera. But back into Chien Pao's turn. And as Gardevoir, this is not the start that we want, but it is a pretty acceptable start, I think. On the side of Chien Pao, they're just looking for the candy backs this turn. Have the candy in hand. I didn't see the Baxcalibur. I think still looking for it. Yeah, and there's the Irida. So he found the backs, and then this turn there's an escape rope in hand. Could just take out the active. I think both plays are pretty reasonable. We'll see how it works out. Okay, nothing off the Pokestop. That's all right. And there's our Irida. Oh, okay. So he was looking for the Ultra Ball is what he was looking for. And I guess as long as you don't mill both Baxcalibur off your one Pokestop, then you're okay. Okay, Bax Ultra. And there's the rare candy Baxcalibur. Ultra Ball probably gonna go get Bibarel. Oh, okay, starting with the escape rope. So now on my side, looking at my hand, this is This is not an amazing hand. I have the ability to draw a lot of cards. I'm promoting the Manaphy in part because I know this Chien Pao list is not playing Canceling Cologne. If it was playing Canceling Cologne, I think sending up the Refinement Kirlia might be a better option, but in this case I know I can't be punished with the instant Greninja. On the other hand, though, it does mean on my side as the Gardevoir player that I'm going to have to find this Manaphy again next turn. So I'm looking for Super Rod plus a Level Ball or an Ultra Ball. Let's see. But yeah, just taking the knockout on Manaphy. We are cool with that as Guardy, going down one prize, but not really losing a very valuable piece as long as I can either evolve these Gardevoirs up or just get the Manaphy back. But we'll start with some refinements, draw our cards. So we have an interesting hand here. There aren't really any cards I want to discard, but I am definitely going to use this Ultra Ball. So I think, yeah, we start with the Shining Arcana, draw 2 more. We have the energy that we can attach if needed. Okay, let's see what we're getting rid of. I think, yeah, it makes sense. It's fine to get rid of the Town Store. I guess we'll refinement the Town Store away. Perfect, because there's the Artisan. So, I think this is actually a mistake on my part. Just got the sequencing mixed up. I should be digging for the Super Rod here, and then after I Super Rod, then I can use that Artisan to bring Manaphy back into play. So we'll see if I get punished in this one. I played this game a little bit ago. I forgot what happened actually. so this is not quite a blind viewing, but I don't remember the exact outcome. But this all is pretty strong. Yeah, I'm just thinking that Ralts should be an open bench spot, and we should be digging for that Manaphy instead. So the Iono put the Chien Pao player at 5 cards, and yeah, see, there's the Super Odd. So that's definitely a misplay on my part. It's all good though. Now we can put the those cards back, and I think this turn we are probably attacking with the Iron Valiant, since that will allow us to get a KO. We could definitely go in with the Gardevoir as well, since we are down a prize. I think that would be pretty reasonable. It does allow them to respond with an Iron Hands. The other thing it potentially allows them to do, since I've taken Manaphy off my board, is if I put energy on the Gardevoir, then they can Greninja and kill my Gardevoir and a Kirlia. So that is definitely not what I want, but we'll see how it goes. We're getting the knockout with Iron Valiant first, using that Tachyon Bits, put 20 damage. Doesn't really matter where on the board, and then taking our 2 prizes. Could put it on Chien Pao. I think that would have been fine as well. The 20 damage puts a tiny bit of pressure on them to find that second Candy Baxcalibur. Wow, got a lot of energy in the discard, typical Chien Pao things. Let's see. Yeah, there are a couple things they can do, and they're looking for... yeah, there's the Iron Hands. Or just getting a second Chien Pao. I think either one's fine. This turn you're taking a knockout with Greninja, I assume. Because Greninja taking 2 prizes on Kirlia Ralts feels pretty disruptive to my board on the Gardevoir side. So, as the Chien Pao player, that's, I think, what I would be going for here. Okay, so I guess he failed the Ultra Ball. Our prizes are face up, so we know what's in there with Heavy Ball, but still have to shuffle anyway. And then Super Rod, putting back We'll see what they put back. They're looking for energies. Yeah, I guess just energies or superior energy retrieval. Okay, so gonna put 3 water energies back since that's what they want to draw off of the barrel. There's 1 water that works. It's not perfect, but it works. Okay, and shuffling 1 Irida back into the deck. Shivery Chill. Taking a bit of a risk there by using the Greninja. I think, yeah, just had Knockout in hand, but oh, I guess, yeah, going for the Greninja play instead of the active Knockout. Oh, let's see. Okay, I remember what happened there. We were double checking the card to see if it said you had to return 4 if it was up to 4. So putting the Lightning Energy back so that we can just keep it in the discard instead of in the deck, since he was using the Iono that turn. But yeah, this is a pretty strong play. Getting 2 prizes on the Kirlia and the Ralts. Going ahead 3-2 at the moment in terms of prizes taken. And the Gardevoir player, like, you know, I can shuffle these things back in. There's the Manaphy, which I should have had last turn. But now it's really a question of boss versus Iono here. So if I boss, I could try and go 2 bosses in a row, but I think my other boss is actually in the discard. Let's see, I see it in deck. Okay, so I do see it in deck, but I have no way to draw cards. So instead I'm gonna Arcana first, and then make my decision. So attaching an energy, putting the reversal on there, and with the boss I could try and go 2-2 on Chien Pao's. The other option is I could try and kill their Baxcalibur, which I don't think is too bad either. So that's what I'm going to go for, just the aggressive prize on the Baxcalibur. I think it's just because my draw powers is not pretty good, or not very effective right now. I guess I'm, you know, it's just games between friends, so I'm switching the reversal energy for the Psychic. And I guess my thought here is next turn, if they don't take a prize, or if somehow I go up on prizes, I want to be able to still use that Brainwave. I don't think it makes a difference either way, honestly. But on the Baxcalibur side, though, 2 backs in the discard. So this is a big turn. If they don't get this Candy Baxcalibur off this turn, I think the game's just over and Gardevoir's gonna take it. So benching the second Frigibax, playing both Nest Balls feels bad, but I think it had to happen in this case just to thin the hand down enough so that they can draw more off of this Bibarel. But we'll shuffle some things back in, the 2 backs, and I think that should be it, right? Yeah, just the backs. That's all we're going for. And keep in mind that we did shuffle there. It was just off camera. But found the candy backs off the Bibarel. So he should be good to go. Has the knockout active, and then next turn can either play for the boss KO on one of the 2 prizers, or can play for the Iron Hands. So yeah, knockout there with Chien Pao, and has the Bibarel set up, which makes it a lot easier to respond to the Iono, which, you know, as the Chien Pao player here, you have to assume the Iono is coming. So let's see, Ultra Ball. Probably getting rid of those top 2 cards. Definitely don't need the VIP pass. And then... Okay, I'm going to Mysterious Tail first. I guess just to see what I can draw into. Maybe I can use the Ultra Ball on a different Pokemon. If I like drew into a Fog Crystal or something. But yeah, going to get the Cresselia, and as the Gardevoir player, like this turn, I need to take a prize, and then I need to not lose on the spot. So attacking with the 2-prizer makes it pretty easy for me to lose on the spot. So my goal, I think, is to go into the Cresselia this turn, because that just makes it so much harder for them to take 2 prizes. Definitely not impossible. The Iron Hands could come out, the boss could come out, or Cross Switchers, but I know that this version of the list isn't playing Cross Switchers. But we are just going to use Cresselia, Moonlight, Moonglow Reverse, there we go. See, I know the names of my cards. On the Chien Pao side, starting with the Shivery Chill, because they knew what was in their hand. You see all of those gold superior energy retrievals. So let's start with the Barrel, draw 2. Okay. And I think drawing the Irida probably guarantees the win, but let's see if he has it. Greninja, draw 2, and now we will Pokestop. Got rid of the boss, but got the superior energy retrieval. And there's the Irida. You love to see it. So, gonna get this big Iron Hands play off on the first game. First game of our Paradox tabletop testing. Alright, there's 4 more. But yeah, that was pretty fun. I think the early misplay of not benching Manaphy definitely cost me. Because of the Iron Hands being an option, it was always possible for Chien Pao to still stay ahead anyway, but definitely put us behind by not getting that Manaphy in play. So I think we'll see if I can correct that in the second game. But starting with the VIP pass, yep, getting Manaphy down straight away. There it is. And let's see, Town Store. Yeah, might as well just search out a tool, no reason not to, right? Just thin it out so that we don't see it off of the Mew. And off of our Mew, we find Earthen Vessel and Ultra Ball. Earthen Vessel isn't super needed right now. Ultra Ball could potentially help us find some Curlias and such next turn, so I think Ultra Ball is probably the way to go, and then I assume from here it's just going to be a pass. Yeah. Alright, over on the Chien Pao side, looks like they have a pretty strong opening hand with at least the 2 Friggies in play off the bat. Get those water energies in hand, and then Pokestop. Wow, what a Pokestop. That will definitely help you out. So, finding the Greninja here, probably a Bidoof. Yeah. And then getting rolling with our draws. So, let's see, has the Irida, has the Iron Hands, and just benching it right away. So that's, you know, on my side, that's scary to see. But this hand, for Gabe, it's a lot of energy and an Irida, but nothing that they get this turn off of Irida is really going to help them, because what he wants is the turn 2 candy backs. So, you know, the Gardevoir deck, it always plays 3 to 4 copies of Iono. There's no reason to use the Irida now when you could save it for next turn, and, you know, potentially draw it later in the game if they do Iono. Yeah, and there's the Iono, so definitely not using Irida was the right play there. But exciting, we have this TM evolution on the active yet again, and it looks like we may just be going for the pseudo Mirage step 2 games in a row. Really strong play. It's not quite as good, of course, as getting some like aggression and pressure onto the board. Like taking a prize on your second turn would be amazing, but if you can't do that, you might as well evolve your whole board up. So I think that's what we're doing yet again, going out and searching ourselves a Ralts. Since we can't take a prize this turn, using the Candy Guardy, it just wouldn't get us to the 2 prizes. We could do some damage, but not take prizes. Might as well just go for the TM evolution. So let's attach that energy. That's okay. We probably only need 1 reversal anyway. But yeah, evolution, there we go. And triple Curlia, turn 2, feels good. So it's definitely not something you want to be using every game, but something you can do going second. It's an amazing play. And also, going first, like you saw in the video here, if you have a slower setup, then the turn 2, getting your whole board filled up for turn 3 is pretty strong. Back on the Chien Pao side, looks like, yeah, just trying to find that Baxcalibur. So has the backs, but doesn't have the candy. So seeing if they can draw into it. Looks like he's going to have to hit it off of this Greninja. I don't think he got there, did he? Yeah, I mean, hey, that happens sometimes. With Chien Pao, it is not an amazing best of 1 deck, because you have games like this where you just don't hit the combo turn 2. Same thing with Gardevoir, but I think you have a bit more, well, you have better draw power and a bit more comeback when it comes to the Gardevoir side. But so just trying to set up our board, draw some cards, refinement, refinement, refinement. And this turn we want to take 2 prizes, or we want to kill one of those Frigibacks with a Cresselia. But I assume that we're gonna try for the Iron Valiant. But since we do have this Gardevoir, not the EX, the Brainwave Gardevoir, we can attack with that as well, potentially. If we are attacking with that, I think we need to be cautious about Iron Hands, and so we'd probably have to boss the Iron Hands and kill it with Gardevoir, which would be totally fine, but it's definitely more to do, more to set up. Ultra Ball, that's what we needed, yeah. I guess we already had one. But getting rid of some useless cards, we already set up our board, don't need those candies anymore. Yeah, and it looks like I'm going for the Valiant here, just to get a more aggressive setup. Also allows me to get 20 damage onto that, the Iron Hands. There's so many Iron Pokemon now. Onto the Iron Hands on the bench to set it up for an easier KO next turn. But with the tool, we are doing 220 with Iron Valiant, so that is a knockout on Chien Pao. It is really, really good into this matchup, because if they are attacking with their multi-prizers, you can always respond with the Valiant. So he's starting with promoting a Frigibax. Get that. Chien Pao down. Ultra Ball discarding some cards. Probably not gonna, or I guess not getting anything. Yeah, the Bax is in hand, so not getting anything. Ooh, just 1 off the barrel. That's not what you want to see. Alright, did they hit it this time? Okay, had to discard 2 supporters, but got there in the end. And because we attacked with the Valiant, we are not losing 2 prizes off a Gardevoir to Iron Hands. So this is a yeah, this is feeling pretty good on the Gardevoir side, I think. They get the return KO on our Chien Pao, but we took the first prizes since they missed the turn to Baxcalibur. So we are definitely still the aggressor as Gardevoir. Feeling good, but that fully powered up Iron Hands on the bench is definitely a concern. So we'll see what we can do this turn. I imagine it involves attacking with that Gardevoir. Maybe even a second Valiant. Would that be too much? I see the boss in hand, so I expect that we might be going for the boss play this turn. Let's see, 6. Yeah, so with 6 energy on Shining Arcana, you are doing 240 with Brainwave, so that's enough to get a KO on the benched Iron Hands. Oh wow, we're down to 5 cards in deck. That was so fast. Just really burning through it. Also have a massive hand here. Alright, so attaching to the Mew, retreating into the Gardevoir, yes? Yeah, there we are. Took a little while, but we got there. 6 energy, let's go place our damage counters. Make sure we're not cheating. And... oh, okay. This is interesting. So I'm not going for the boss. I'm instead just taking 2 prizes and saying, like, hey, next turn, if you attack me with Iron Valiant, or with Iron Hands, I can respond with a Valiant, almost guaranteed. It's one of my last 3 cards in deck. If you Iono me, you know, that's great. I am going to draw into it. I still have a Refinement up, as well as this Shining Arcana. So on the side of Chien Pao, you actually can't go in with the hands this turn. So it's a pretty good play, I would say, on my part. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, he's just stuck. He's thinking. So getting some energies back. Probably, yeah, just going to be a Greninja. I guess technically, actually, he could have attacked with the Frigibax. Just not something that you always think of, that Frigibax does enough damage here, but it totally does, and is probably the best attacker. But taking 1 prize just on the Gardevoir, and you know, we'll see if I have it. All right, there's the boss, there's the Valiant, and I'm playing super fast. Boss up the Iron Hands, retreat into the Valiant, hit it with the Tachyon Bits, and then with the attack for the knockout. So that was our set. The 2 decks split 1 game each. I definitely enjoyed playing the Gardevoir with Iron Valiant. I think the new aggressive options really give you a lot that you can do. And Chien Pao is pretty good still. As expected, this is probably going to remain a Tier 1, Tier 1.5 archetype. And I think it really remains to be seen just how impactful Iron Hands will be in the meta, how impactful Iron Valiant will be in the meta, whether there's like donk decks that play 4 Valiant and try and knock out your lone Comfy, or your only Frigibax, or your only Ralts and play turn 1. There's still a lot to discover. We'll figure it out though. Thank you so much for joining. Here's the list one more time. I said before that I would talk about some changes you could make, and I'll just throw those cards up here on the screen, but some ones I'm definitely interested in playing around with, seeing if they fit into the list. 1 copy of the new Jirachi, which stops Sableye and Yogaloop on your benched Pokemon. 1, maybe even 2 copies of Counter Catcher. You could even cut a boss for a Counter Catcher, and I think that could work really nicely. Allows you to just continue Iono spamming every turn, while also bringing up the threat that you need to kill on the bench. Another cool option is adding Arven, especially with all these tools. Maybe Arven is the way to go over the town store, and you just go back to your normal stadiums like Collapse Stadium, play 2 Worker or something like that. I don't know, there are lots of ways that you can build Gardevoir these days, but this is what I'm trying out now. And if you have any suggestions, if you have any lists or texts that you've been playing that you've really enjoyed so far, go ahead, drop those in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you're testing. But with that, I am gonna sign off. Please like the video if you have a second. Makes a big difference to me. Just trying to spread the love of Pokemon and help the YouTube algorithm get my video out to more people. But like, subscribe, comment. I will catch you next time.